Las Vegas Triathlon Club member spotlight Thursday night. We've got Krista Rinda. Hi, Krista. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. How are you guys doing?
Do you go by Rendon or when? I should have checked.
Oh no, Rendon.
So
Yeah.
Rendon, Krista
Yeah.
Rendon.
Yeah. If not, it's gonna be Kristen went where. So yeah,
Awesome.
I'm Rendon now.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. This is going to be fun to get to know you because you've gotten involved with the Tri Club and you've started doing a lot of the local races. And it's going to be fun to hear a little bit about how you got involved with triathlon and then what you're going to be doing even this remaining part of the year and maybe even 2025. But before I get going too far, I've got to reintroduce my co-host Bob Gamble. Hey, Bob.
Hi, John. How you doing?
Doing good.
You're looking a whole lot better. I mean, after your crash, man, I'm so glad that you came through that.
Yeah,
But
thanks. And
keep an eye on it, though.
triathlon's fun, and sometimes things happen. So, and it's going to be fun to hear some of Krista's stories as well. But I'm going to let Bob do the official introduction, get us started.
All right, thank you, John, and welcome again, Krista. And
Thanks.
it's really fun to have you on tonight because it's interesting. The little bit I know about you is you just got started and you've been podiuming in a whole bunch of races, the local races and BBSC, and just recently Cocapelli. And for folks who are listening, Krista took her age group win in Cocapelli at the Olympic distance. So, and so to start with, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and a little bit about your family. And then I got another question for you.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm Krista Rendon, and I like long walks on the beach, slow dancing. No, wait, wrong. Wait, this is the wrong
Yeah,
wrong site for
wrong
this. I'm just
platform.
kidding. But no, I'm originally from Wisconsin. I've been in Vegas for gosh, 25 years. I used to be in the casino business, so that's kind of what got me out here. I was a blackjack dealer at the Hard Rock. When I first moved out here, and now I'm a realtor, so I have a flexible schedule, which has been great for training. I have two adult boys, and I have one granddaughter who is actually here. She's downstairs right now with my youngest son. She just turned 2 yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
So
how
yeah,
cool.
she's awesome. So that's like the highlight of my life right now is being a grandma. But yeah, my mom and dad moved out here a while back, and yeah, it's just that I love it out here. And this is home now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So welcome. I mean, I'm
Thanks.
glad you're here. And
Thanks.
the two pictures that you sent me to post up, one was on the River Mountain Loop,
Oh
and
yeah.
you were real familiar with those hills, I see. And the other one was an interesting picture, a picture of you with your podium mug. You were cozying up to your podium mug. Tell us about that. That
So
sounds like a fun story.
so yeah, so that was actually Sand Hollow. So I've been doing triathlons like solid now for the last year. And I've done a couple of sprints. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to move it up to Olympic. So I signed up for Sand Hollow and went with a couple of friends. One of my friends, John Leonard, he ended up doing the sprint, and I did the Olympic, and I kind of just had low expectations on what Olympic was going to look like because it's double the distance and everything. So I just went into it not knowing what would happen, and I was so impressed and happy, and I had so much fun. I actually ran into John when I was there, and I'm like, I'm done with sprints. I'm only doing Olympics. And John's like, wait, you're still going to do the Tri Club events, right? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'll still do those.
I'll do that.
But so anyway, I got podium, and I was just so excited. And I was staying in a different hotel than my friends. And so before I went to bed that night, I took a picture of me snuggling with the
With your
podium cup
podium.
and sent it to him and told him I was going to bed. Good night. So it's funny out of the pictures that you chose that one. But yeah, yeah, and now I'm hooked. Like I just did the Olympic at Cocapelli, same course, and it felt good. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the challenge.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. Your first race was an Olympic, right?
No, first
Oh,
was sprint. So
you
first
did
was Pumpkin
great.
Man. So yeah,
Oh, that's right.
very
That's right.
first, very first was Pumpkin Man in 2015. So I've always been a runner. I've always loved running. And then I was looking for a challenge. I've done a couple marathons, and I had a friend that was doing triathlon, so I thought I'd give it a try. And growing up in Wisconsin, I didn't know how to swim. Like I mean, I said I knew how to swim, right? So the first race I'm doing Pumpkinman and I'm in the water just like this and then backstroking and doing all that. But I loved it. I was hooked back in 2015. But then at the end of December, I was on a run out here in Vegas. I jumped over a puddle to get up on the curb, and it wasn't a puddle, it was black ice.
Oh,
And my shin hit the curb, went down, didn't know it until a couple hours later, but I broke my
No.
my fib tib. So I was out of commission
Oof.
for, gosh, it was probably about 2 or 3 years before I really could get back into running. So then last year is when I got back into tries. So I did the rage and did well. I did the sprint and then I did Las Vegas and then Pumpkinman and then decided to join the tri club because I'm like, I really like this and I love just the people, the atmosphere. I've met some really great people so far. And
You
so I
met us
signed up
too.
with you guys.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, so I signed up with you guys with the Tri Club, which I love what you guys do and just the encouragement and the events. But what I'm realizing, like you guys have some serious athletes in that Tri Club because I don't think I'll ever podium with, with the Tri Club. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And just getting to know some of the women there and like Ironman that they're doing and qualifying for these big events, it's very inspiring and encouraging and I'm really grateful to be a part of this.
Well, and thank you, and yeah, thanks for still doing the race, even though you were moving to the Olympics. And I was like, oh, don't we all want to?
Yeah.
That's great. We do have such a fantastic endurance community here, and yes, we have all different levels doing our events. So let's walk back to your first triathlon. What
Yeah.
what was that? That was 2015, and that
Yeah,
was
so 2015, and it was Pumpkinman just because of the timing of it. I was like, okay, what's the next try? And it's funny because after I did it, everyone's like, oh, isn't that hill hard? And that's the hardest one. And I didn't know it because I didn't know what
Yeah,
to compare
nothing to
it to.
compare it to, huh?
Yeah. So I'm like, no, it was great. So I loved it. I even though I didn't know how to swim, I think I rode on a mountain bike. I think I rode a mountain bike that race. I enjoyed it. It was really fun.
well, and that's so neat because you didn't know any different at that point. I mean, that was the first race, but that is an
Yeah.
iconic race and not a very tough one to start with. So
I know, it's your
that,
first one.
everything else is going to be a little easier. So
Yeah. And it's neat too because I've learned so much now since then, right?
yeah.
Like I've learned how to freestyle and swimming correctly and,
Mhm.
just the difference, all the difference that it makes. And like what we were talking about before, I never clipped in before. So now I'm clipping in and learning all of that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I need to get stronger on the bike. That's my biggest thing right now. I don't have the cadence and
Mhm.
all of that. I'm strong. I feel strong on the runs and I feel good in the swim, but I really want to get better on the
Mm.
bike.
I love it. So I'm curious. Okay, so as you prep for your first race, which was Pumpkinman, versus
Yeah.
how you prep for Kokopelli this last weekend, what are you doing similar or what are you doing different?
So now I have a training plan that I'm following, which has been really good. And what helped me, I think, so much with Kokopelli is the last couple months I've been looking at. I signed up for T100,
Yeah.
not knowing what I was even getting into,
Mm.
right? Just so me and my friend John, we decided to do it. So I signed up for that, and so I found a race plan. So that's what I'm following. So, my bike rides have been like 2.5 hour bike rides and then 30-minute runs and different kinds of swims. So it's helped me to prep. And yeah, Kokopelli, this time it felt easy.
Mm.
Yeah.
I bet you that I'd love to see you whenever you do the T100 because you knocked out your Olympic distance and you're
Yeah.
going to back off a little bit on the intensity in T100. You're going to love it. I can just tell
I'm
it's going to be.
excited. I don't know, but I'm wondering how does it work? Like, because you do laps, how do they keep count? Do I have to keep count?
I don't know, and I'm not sure how T100 does that. I know I've done some races where you get a bracelet each time you do a lap.
Got it.
I'm not sure, but this will be good to get some of the details when they start posting it. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
logistic type of race when you did that many loops.
Good. Yeah,
Whenever I've
because
done,
before I had a watch, when I was in the pool, I would like lose count on laps. So my friend got me an abacus for the pool to
Mm.
use
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
to keep counts.
I love
I can't count to four. You know, it's like I lose track before I get to four. I don't know how many I've done.
Yeah, and
But
then
as
you got
far
to
as
start over.
I know, and as far as the laps, you'll typically have an ankle bracelet on, and you'll go over a timing mat.
Yeah,
So so they'll make any
hopefully
race that
they'll
I've
tell
done
me
where you
when
have
it's
laps,
time. Yeah.
and there'll be someone will be there, and there'll be a sign that says, you know, first lap, you take a left. If you've completed your second lap, go straight. There'll be signs there for that.
Okay.
it.
Oh, to break it up. Yeah, I think it's going to be great as far as for like the crowd, like the spectators. It's going to be really fun because
Yeah.
they'll be seeing us come by so much, which will be
Well,
neat.
I'm so impressed that you used an abacus for counting swim. So how did you know to use
Good
an
idea.
abacus? How did you that's
Well, I'll tell you the truth. So I originally I was using quarters back to like the casino days. I was counting with quarters, and my
yeah.
friend saw it, so she got it for me for Christmas. She got me an abacus to use it for the pool.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Great
So
idea.
yeah, anyone that goes up to multi-gen and sees somebody with an abacus on their lane, that's me.
Got it. Okay, so now let me ask you, you've done sprint, you've done Olympics, and T100 is that 100
Yeah.
total distance. So you've got, I don't remember what they're due for the swim distance. Is it 2,000 meters or 1,500? And then 50 mile
I'm
bike
pretty sure it's 2,000 and then 90 for the um
50 miles for the bike ride, and then
50
11
and
miles for
then
the
like
run.
11 for the run. Yeah.
Will that be your longest event at that
That'll
point?
be my longest. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm waiting instead of jumping in anything. So I'm going to see how that goes. And then I'm looking at Santa Cruz because I
Oh,
saw how
yeah.
much fun you had down there.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
And so I'm looking at Santa Cruz and then possibly Arizona
Oh, nice. Okay.
November for the full.
Oh,
But
wow.
we'll see if I'm going to knock it all out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
I'm
So
hopeful.
when
Yeah.
you're prepping for T100, which is only a couple weeks away, right?
Yeah.
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 What are you focusing on to get ready for that distance?
Um, just the training. I mean, so so I've got like the training kind of just I've got a plan that I found online that I'm following.
Yeah,
So just getting the biking in and getting the swimming in and the runs in every
yeah,
week. Yeah. And I feel like I've got my nutrition down, so I feel good there. But yeah, I just need to get
yeah.
stronger in the bike.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, because I've got it's going to be fun. I almost want to catch up with you afterwards because I'll be interested to see how you like that distance versus Olympic. I mean, maybe that longer
Yeah.
distance seems to appeal to you.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm thinking, I mean, I haven't done the Olympic out at Lake Mead yet, so I'm thinking about doing Las Vegas on it. So the October 5th or 6th. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about
Mm-hmm.
doing that.
the
I'm just
Olympic
not sure
the
yet.
Olympic out there.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, the last sprint I did with you guys, that was hard. I came in last place with another guy, and that was like my determination is because I was in last because my front tire went flat.
Right.
And I should have stopped and fixed it.
Yes, we talked.
And I didn't. I rode on it and Bob saw me coming in down the hill. He's like, "Be careful." And I was thankful for that advice because I was rolling. But then, I was coming in on the end and I realized I was last. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can't finish last." So I came up to the guy at the end and I'm like, "Can I finish with you?" And it was really cool because we got a chance to talk and he gave me some advice because he had done Ironmans and he's just getting back into triathlons again. So it was cool. And that's what I like about the club is the camaraderie between everybody.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that was a humbling moment for me coming in at the end.
Oh,
It's a
that's
tough
great.
course for one, especially tough whenever you have a low front tire. I mean,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
very hilly. That's a tough course.
Yeah, so that's why I'm wondering how hard the Olympics going to be out
Twice
at
as hard
Lake
as
Mead.
that because you did that course twice. You did
Yeah,
that bike course twice.
yeah,
You
yeah.
So
But
you,
mhm.
you're,
Krista, you had mentioned talking about the club and getting ready, getting into it.
Yeah.
You mentioned someone, Jennifer.
Oh yeah, Jennifer Dean, you guys have to spotlight her. Yeah,
right.
she's getting ready to do the full Ironman. Will be her first one in November out in Arizona.
Oh,
But
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Is she a
she took
member of
me
the
out
club? Yeah.
for a ride. So I told her I need help with the bike. So she took me out to do the River Mountain Loop for the very first time. And I think my longest ride back then was like 20 miles. And yeah, I almost died 3 times.
Yeah. Oh,
Three
that's
times.
a tough core. That's a tough loop.
Is a great, path. We always say if you can train here in Vegas, you can race
Yeah.
anywhere. So you do have a full in your sights then.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah. Why not, right?
Yeah, they're right, right. Oh, I
Yeah.
yeah, too.
You're
Yeah.
talking about Arizona next year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll have to reach out to Jennifer.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, she's got a great story.
Oh yeah. No, so I'm curious with your running background, that must be nice and confident that you can get off the bike and you have a good run in your back pocket. Is that something that when you approach a race that you're really comfortable once you get off the bike and running?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it takes a little while, right? Like, because my legs feel like bricks when I get off the bike, but yeah, I like it. I enjoy that that's the last leg of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love it. Yeah, and that's got to be comforting. And as you do your T100 or even your Olympic races, that's going to be nice to have that running flavor. What were some of the running races that you've done that were memorable?
So my first marathon was in San Diego. It was the Rock and Roll. And that was back in 2000, that was back in 2015, as well. So that was a lot of, oh, no, yeah, somewhere, yeah, 2015. And then I did the Las Vegas Marathon out here, and then I did another marathon in Pittsburgh, which was a lot of fun. And yeah, I just enjoy it. Like I love running, but then you throw in the swimming and the biking, it makes it a lot more challenging.
Yeah,
From a runner standpoint, what's it feel like when you get off the bike and run?
Oh my gosh.
How is
Like,
it?
yeah, I mean, especially at first, my legs felt so heavy,
yeah,
really heavy. But
And
just once I
how
get
did
in the
you adapt to
motion,
that?
that
How'd
first
you
half
adapt?
mile is hard. I mean, that's hard, but yeah, it feels good for me because I know like on the bike, I'm counting how many people pass me. And
mm,
I'm like, okay, like Cocapelli, I think I got past like 7 people on the bike.
yeah.
But then when I got to the run, I was able to pass 6. So I'm like, it kind of it balances out.
Well, Krista, I said we'd keep you for 15 minutes. We're beyond that.
Already
I
well
just
beyond
gotta
that.
say, it's been so great that you joined the club. You bring really a freshness to the sport, and you get to see that you really enjoy it. But maybe we can close out with what advice would you give? I'm stealing Bob's question. What
Yeah.
advice would you give to someone who's going to start off in triathlon?
Just do it. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and yeah, I mean, it's basically, and have fun, no matter where you're at in it. And the thing is like, and what I always tell people, like you're doing more than most people out there right now.
good.
Yeah,
Do it for fun, not a second job.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And then what was the biggest learning that you had? I'm just, because you've done a whole lot in a short period of time and you've come
Yeah.
a long way. So what's your biggest aha moment?
For me, it's just keeping a balance with everything, and again, is keeping my expectations low on it, and not going, like when I was younger, I'd race for like big wins and that, and it's just competing against myself is really what it's about.
Yes.
Even though I'm still counting how many people pass me and how many people I pass, but really
Right.
in the big scheme of things, it's
But you're smiling the whole time. So I still
yeah,
remember you came around that corner and you were working hard and you were smiling. So it's like, I
yeah,
thought, yeah, that's all right.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Well,
Krista,
Thanks,
thank
you
you so much
guys.
for jumping on this call. This has been great to talk with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you do. And if you do Las Vegas, try and then the T100, that'll be fun.
Thanks so much.
All right. Have a
yeah,
great
thank
evening.
you from
Thanks.
me as well. And it's wonderful having you in the club.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks.
Okay.